Hey guys, welcome back. So guys, in this video, we are going to learn about one-to-one relationship in Laravel. Okay. So guys, I have just installed my fresh Laravel 9 application. And now let's begin with CRUD application. So before starting your code, let me just show you one blog over here. Laravel 9 one-to-one relationship example I have just written over here. Only the important codes, how we can implement it. Okay. So guys, now let's begin with our coding part. Okay, so let's get back. So first up guys, let's go to .env file and set up your database. Okay, so copy the database name and paste here. All set. And now guys, let's begin with creating the migration. So open your terminal. So now guys, we are going to see student and student details. Okay, so we are going to do the one-to-one relationship example of student and its details. So guys, now let's create the first table called student. PHP artisan make colon migration create underscore students table. Hit enter. Created migration. Let's go to our database migration, and here you find the students table. Let's add $table string, add full name, then email and one phone guys. That's it. And now let's migrate this. PHP artisan migrate, hit enter. So with default table, our student table also is migrated. Done. And now guys, let's begin with creating the model. PHP artisan make colon model. The model name will be student. Hit enter and your model created successfully. Let's go to app models where student.php. Perfect. So now guys, let's protected $table is equal to the table name what we have created. So let's copy that students, paste. Let me just zoom it. And next is guys our fields. So protected $fillable, where here you're going to tell the full name, email and the phone. Okay, so all the input what you have created. Done. Let's close this. And now guys, let's create one controller for this. PHP artisan make colon controller where student controller. Hit enter. Controller created successfully. Let's go to app http controller where student controller. So now guys, let's create the function called index, public function with the function name index, and here you are going to view the output. Return view student.index page. So now guys, let's go to our views, resource views, and create one folder called student, and inside that student create a file name index.blade.php. Perfect. So now guys, let's extend our layout. Extend layouts.app, and now let's add the section content and the section. Now guys, over here you can begin with your bootstrap code like container, row, column md12, card, header, h4 where we'll tell students list, and your card body here. And let's add one button inside this a tag, add student, and just design this button guys with the bootstrap class button primary float end. Save. And now guys, you can check the output, margin top 5. So where we want to set this students path, so give / students where 404. So guys, now let's set up the route. Let me close this terminal, go to routes, web.php and set it. Yep. So we'll be using a route group controller, guys. Let me just show you one Laravel doc over here and come to your route group at controller. So let's go there, and here is one demo. Let's copy this and paste that. So now guys, at this place you will call your path of your student controller. So let's copy the path. Here we copy, go to web.php, paste here, and give slash and call your student controller. So my student controller class name, paste that. So now our path is called, guys, and now you can start setting up. So here students at index function. Okay, so now you can, let me remove this, we don't require. Let's go, and here we refresh, you get the output. Perfect. So we got the output, guys, student list, what we have viewed in the index page. Done. And now guys, we need to create a form. So you can just add one more file over here with the name blade.php. All done. Let's copy the same code and paste here. And instead of give add student and make this as back button URL, where you'll go to students. Let me minimize and make it as back. And now let's set up the route, guys, for this. Students / create and go to create function. Let's copy this create and go to your student controller and create the function name function, where you will tell create, and here we are not passing any parameters. Let's return view student folder create file. Perfect. So now guys, you are going back over here and you start the form. Yep. Refresh, and if you go to /create, you'll find the add form. Perfect. So now guys, let's begin with the form, where so let's add like here student, give margin bottom 3, one label, give a full name, one input dot form control. Here give the name, full name. Okay, so let's copy this and paste 3 times. So 1 2 3 inputs, email and phone. Okay, all set, guys. And now coming back to the relationship, so over here we are going to store with this student data, we will store its details also. So let me just show you the output and begin with the student details form. Okay, yep, and let's copy this. Here we will tell this is student detail. Okay, where students detail we are going to add alternative phone number and address, here alt and address, the course, and let's make this also as course, and final one roll number. Okay, so either you add in this or up, let's mention that roll number. Perfect. So now guys, one simple button to save the record. Let's add the button submit and design this button with the Bootstrap button primary and make this button type as submit, guys. Submit, or else make this as save. Okay, no confusion. Let's save, and now let's check the output. Refresh. Cool. So we get this output, right? So guys, we have made the database for this student data, but student details we did not make. So let's make that migration now. Okay, so yep, let's begin with PHP artisan make : migration, create student details table, hit enter. So created migration. Let's go to our database, and migration, at last we find our students table. Okay, student details table. Done. And now guys, let's set up that. So first check with your foreign key. So that will be, let's go to the students table first. At the students table, this ID is nothing but unsigned big integer. Let me just show you this data. At the database, go to your students table. At this student table, move to structure, and here you find the ID is big int and unsigned. Okay, let's get back to your student details table and mention that unsigned big int student underscore id. Okay, so student underscore id, and this is not going to be repeated again. Once means once, because it is one-to-one relationship, so make it unique function, and that's it. So now guys, what are the fields we are using in the alter phone, address, course, and role? So let's add those. So guys, let me just reduce those fields, like we don't require much of this. Let's remove the address itself, not required. Only alter phone and course roll number we require. Okay, so 3 fields is enough. Copy and paste. One course and one is roll number. All set. And now guys, we need to set the foreign key. So what foreign key? You will set your student ID foreign with references ID, to which references on function where students. Okay, so this is nothing but your table name, where this table name, you have to copy your students table name, paste here, and on delete cascade, on delete function, you're going to type cascade. Okay, cascade. Done. And the foreign key what you have to set is nothing but student ID. So you will set this student ID referencing to ID of primary and on the student table. Okay, that's it. So now guys, let's migrate this also. PHP artisan migrate, hit enter, and here you see migrated. Perfect. So now guys, let's create the model for the student details. PHP artisan make colon model where student detail. Okay, hit enter and your model will be created. Now let's go to our models, student details, and add all the fields. Okay, so let me just copy from the previous table the code and paste here. The table name is student details. Let's copy the student details, and the fields is alternate phone number, course, and roll number. Alternate phone number, course, and roll number. Okay, and one more thing we are missing guys, that is our student ID. So let's add that student underscore ID. And now let's get back, close this table, model done at this page. Yep guys, and now let's begin with the inserting the data. So go to your form where method will be post, and set the URL or a route students. Once you submit the form, the token will be sent with it. Now let's copy and make sure you have added a submit button. Perfect. So let's go to our web.php and create a route with the method post of the URL students. Done. And let's add store function. Copy this, go to your student controller and create a function with the name store function, store function. Here you get your request, $request, and you get your data. So guys, validation I will not do because it will take more time. So let's continue to insert the student is equal to student model colon colon create function, and create in an array format where you will tell all the fields with the request of input. So dollar request of input is nothing but full name. Your column field is full name. Let's go to the student model. At the student model, you have to copy this, and these are the fields. Okay, full name, email, and phone. Let's add that. So you set full name, email, and phone. And the inputs also are same as we have given there, phone. And now if you create, the data will be created. Okay, so guys, now let's create the hasOne relationship over here. Okay, so guys, for that you need to go to your student model. Let's go to the student model and create the relationship. So let's add public function student details. Okay, return dollar this has one function where you will tell student detail model colon colon class your ID. This first place you will get the foreign key. So let's go to that student details, copy your student ID and paste that. All set. And after this you are going to set the primary key ID from this student table ID will be coming over here. Now done. So let's copy the student detail function and get back to your controller to insert the data. So here we send the student, and now you pass the student details relationship and then create the data. Done. So now guys, let's get the inputs where dollar request of your alter phone number. Okay, and the column field also is going to be alter phone number, same. Let's paste here, control CV, and change the course and change to roll underscore number. Done. Once created, let's return redirect with the message as student and student detail created. Let's redirect to students page and show the message. Yep, let's get back to index, and here we add the if condition. Check with the session. If any session is present, then you're going to show the data. Here we add h4, open and close curly brace, session of message. Okay, and if you want, you can add a alert success. That's it. So now guys, let's get back controller, and now let's check the output. Refresh. Okay, we get a syntax error. Somewhere we are missing with the curly brace at web routes. So here it is. Let's go. Here we have semicolon. Miss the semicolon. Refresh. And now guys, let's insert the data. So I'm going to tell Ved Prakash, ved@gmail.com, phone. And now it's details. So let's enter the second alternative phone number, BCA, roll number. Let's add some roll number. And now let's click to save. Let's save, and here you get the student model not found. Okay, let's import that. We missed out. Here we go. Import this class and import it. And once check in our student model also. Let's go to the student model, and the student detail is there, right? It's not imported. Let's import this class too. So import imported. Okay, perfect. So now, yep, go back and let's save once again. Save. Okay, session, the data is stored guys, but the way to show the message session was wrong. Let's correct that. At the index page, SESSION. Okay, refresh once. Okay, so now let's go to our database. Here we move to students table in next tab, and let me open the student details. Here you see that the student detail is stored and the student record also is stored. So ID number 1 at this primary key, and the student ID is 1, okay, with its data. So guys, this is how we store one-to-one relationship data. Okay, let's fetch the records in the table view. Let's get back at the index blade, design the table guys, table head, table row, table heading, ID, full name. Here you paste email and one action. That's it. Now you can test with the table body. Give the table body, table row, table data. Let's add table bordered over here, table striped. Use the for each. Here you get the student's detail. Okay, let's control X and paste here. And now inside this student $student of ID, you're going to get it. So from where are you getting the student? It's here, students of student, and next was full name, and another was email, and the TD tag. At this you're going to tell edit, delete. Okay, let's add the class button danger button small. So copy and paste for the edit part as success. And now guys, if you're viewing this, I'm into when you're at this place, let's go to that path at index function student controller, and here you get the data in a variable called students, and go to your model student colon all, where you'll fetch all the students details and send in a compact function. That's it. So now you go back here, and here is your student variable. Let's refresh. You get your data. Okay, so one record has been added. So let's again create one more record. Om Prakash, om@gmail.com, phone number, alternative phone number, and some course, some roll number, save, and here you get student and student details created. Let's check that student first. At the student, we got the student and its detail should be created here. Perfect. So we got this detail guys. So now guys, let's edit this detail. Okay, so let's go to this edit button and create the URL at student / concatenate the ID, student ID, paste. Let me concatenate and give / edit. And now let's create the route for this path. So you go to your web.php file and create a route with the same path using get method, and then your student ID. Okay, so you don't need to mention this ID, just mention student, so we can handle that resource route too. And then your edit module. Okay, let's remove this, go to edit function. So we don't have any edit function. Let's create that function where the function name is going to be edit, and here you pass your type. So my type is will be the int, that is nothing but student ID. Okay, so if you want, you can pass in this way also, or else you can just get that student space student. Okay, so let me just return and show you this output. So here, now refresh and go at this first record. Okay, with Prakash, edit, and you get this detail, right? So if you try to mingle with this any of this record, okay, so in case you change to ID, let me show you this, you will not get any data. Okay, you get the null value. So make sure you are adding, if it is students, you make it singular. That's it. So now let's get back. So now let's comment this, return view at student edit page. So let's go and create a edit blade file. Move at your student, create a new file, edit.blade.php, and we require the same form, guys, of what as we have seen in the create page. So let's copy that, the same form, Control C and Control V. That's it. So now, yep, guys, and let me change this heading, and let's get the data from the edit function. So here you get the student detail. Copy that and send it in a compact function. Compact function, just send the student variable. So you will get the student data over there. Send it, and now you can show in your input fields. Let's use a value tag attribute and send your $student of full name. So here we use full name, copy and paste, email, phone. Now let's check the output, refresh. Perfect. So you get your data over here. For ID number 1, you get your details. Coming to student details, you have to get that records, right? So you can use hasOne relationship and get the data. Let's use the value attribute, open and close, the variable student of student details. Okay, student detail of what you're going to get, alter phone. So what is the student detail? That is nothing but your function name you have called over here. So use that function name and call your column fields. So yep, and let me just show you this first output of this. Here you refresh and you get the data. Here you get same, done, and for this also you can paste it, course, and finally is roll number. So you get your roll number details. Cool. So BCA, and this is the data you can check out over here. It's correct details, guys. And now, guys, let's update these records. Let's get back to our edit page and change the button name to update, and go at the top of your form, and we are going to update using the method put. So let's add the method and make it to put, and send the ID inside your URL. So dollar student hyphen ID. Perfect. So now, guys, you are going to copy this path student and get back to your route. Use the route colon colon put method, where you will tell students / student ID. So just send that student itself. It's enough. And move to your update function. So let's go to the student controller and create one function. Function, the named update, and you get the request $request. And now, guys, you need to update your records. So first step, we are using the resource route format, so you can directly get your students record. Okay, so let's test that first. Return students. So refresh once, and now let's update. Let's click on update. Here you find all the details of that student, okay, of what ID you are getting it. So here you get the data. Yep. And now guys, let's remove this and begin with the update part. So now let's take this student variable and directly update the data of student. Done. So let us copy the code from top itself, which we have used in inserting the data. Done guys. And now let's update this student details also with the using hasOne relationship. Let's use student details. Let's go to the student model, and here you find that student relationship, right? So hasOne relationship, use that. And now guys, use the update function to update that record. Done. So now let me copy from the top itself. Here you copy, paste, done. Let's copy and send this and tell this as updated. Now guys, let's test it. So once refresh, now I will change this phone number all total to 6, and this will be the 5, and from B to all M55. Let's update. Perfect. So guys, student and student details updated. Let's see the data first. Edit. Perfect guys. So guys, all the data are updated with student and its student details. So this is how we updating the record using hasOne relationship. Done. And now let's begin with the destroy part. Let's create one function. Destroy, and here you pass your student directly. We get the data student and get your student variable. And now guys, we are going to search for this and just delete it. Use delete function to delete the data, and once deleted, you will go back until deleted. And now let's save this and create the route for this guys. First, we have not yet created. Create a route ::. Use delete method to delete this data. Here we go to the students / the ID. So that is nothing but student ID, and you go to destroy function. So now guys, you have to create this path also where to delete that. Let's get back on this delete button. Let's create that form. So move back to index page, and here is our delete button. I'm going to use a form because we are using a method delete at CSRF token at method. Done. And send the method is equal to post, and here you send your URL what you have created, student with the ID delete. Okay, so let's send that ID, concatenate it, create the call the student variable of ID. And now guys, give us submit button. Let's copy from the top itself, delete, and copy this total thing and just add this in the button, and this href will be to type, and the type value is submit. Let's remove it, save, refresh. Okay, you're getting one below. Let's add a class over here, class D inline. Okay, so it will just display inline. Yep guys, and now let's click to delete this second record. So here you find that Om Prakash detail, right? In your students data and your student details also, we have student ID too. Okay, so guys, now if we delete this, both data should be deleted from the table. So let's click on delete. Okay, here you see student detail deleted. Let's go and check. So first I'm going with the students, so we don't have the record, and here let's refresh. You find that no record is available. Perfect. So guys, at once how it's deleted, because we have used a foreign key. Okay, so guys, this was the CRUD of our has1 relationship. So guys, now I'm going to tell you one more thing about that student details. Like if you want to add separately student details, here we see that we are creating at once, right? Like if you go to student create, here you are using student data and your student details at once. But in some cases, we don't require first time student details. Later we require the student details. So for that case, guys, you can use this code. Okay. So I have already written a blog on this where you can do with this part. So let me just add this functionality inside this student view itself. Okay. Yep. Let me add one t tag. Here we tell add or edit students. Oops, let me cut and add at this heading will be here. So th and just add one button using a tag. Let's copy the edit button data itself. Okay, here you mention add or edit details. Done. And now you can change this route to details. So you can create a route for this. Let's go to our web.php and create a route. So at the beginning itself, I'll create it. Use a route : get method. Add a single quote students / the ID student and then your details. Okay, so you can mention here because this is not the resource path. And now let's move on to our add edit details function. Let's remove this, copy it and go to your student controller. At the below, I'm going to create one function with the name add or edit details. So here you get $student underscore ID. So this student ID is coming from your route. From this, let's copy that and paste, and you get your student ID. So now guys, let's take the student variable, call the model, use find or fail function to search the student ID. So once you get the student ID, let's return view where you're going to student add or edit detail, and let's send that data using compact function and send the variable student. Okay, so this variable you are sending here. So guys, we just require only details data, right? So you can just add that details like student details relation. Just send this. Okay, so what will do this, we have to copy this and send that. So it will just find that student details record and send into it. So now guys, let's create the form file. Move below and add the student plate.php. Perfect. So now guys, you can copy from the edit part. Okay, so go to your edit and copy all the things. Let's move back to our edit, add details. So I don't want many things. Let me add or edit student details. And here I remove the student data. I don't require, only details I require it. And now you find some variable called student, so which we are already sending it over here. Okay, so let's get that. And you don't require this student details because we are directly calling that in the variable student. Now get back here, just tell submit. And now guys, if you try to add or edit, so at that time what will happen, you will get error. So when you're going to add means it will show an error. If you're editing means fine, you will find the data. So for that case, guys, you will just use a ternary operator null. So you have to add this in your code. That's it. Yep. And the route we have to change yet, but let's see the output once. Refresh. Yep. And now let's click on add or edit detail. Edit or add. So we went and the data is already there. So you have got this data, right? So now guys, let's update this record. Okay. So yep. And here you concatenate and let's tell update detail. So let's copy this and get back to web.php, paste here, and let's use this update detail at the last date data and make this to post method. Okay. Now let's tell store or update detail. Okay. Let's copy this and create a function. Let's move below, create a function and paste the code, function name. And now guys, you're going to get the request, $request with ID, student underscore ID. So this ID you'll be getting from your route web.php. Done. And now guys, you are going to search with the student and then update the data or store the data. So let me just copy the code from here. So I have just written this blog. Let's copy this and paste here. And now you can find the student ID from the student model and you get the result, and then you're going to get your relationship. Okay, has one relationship, update or create function. So Laravel provides this. If you already have a student details, it will search for that ID and update the record. If you don't have student detail, it will ignore this part and just create the data. Okay, so yep. And now guys, let's get back and check the output. So here we refresh. So guys, we are going to update this phone number to what all one case, and here I am going to tell A and this will be B. Let's submit. Okay, put method is not supported. I have used put method in the add detail. Let's remove this. We don't require that. We are just using the post method. Let's submit once again. And you see that saved successfully. We got the message, and let's check the data guys. If you go to add or edit details, all the details will be 1. Okay, so here the data has changed, but this phone number did not update. Why? Let's just check it out to the student controller. So we have used the wrong path guys. Let us copy the correct code. So let's copy this and paste that. That's it. So we have saved now. And now guys, let us try to update once again. So let's make all this digits to 1. And here I'm going to add C. So let's save, submit. Okay, saved successfully. Let's add or edit details. If you come here, you find the correct data now. Okay, and now if you want to create also, you can go with the same thing. Okay, so let me just show you directly over here. If I start creating form, it will take a lot of time. So let me just insert one record over here. So I will add Varun at gmail.com, your phone number. That's it. Let's click go. Let's browse. And here you see ID number 3, Varun data is there. And you don't find any student detail about that Varun. Okay. So we don't have. So what you will be getting at this place is, so here you see Varun data. So guys, now let's go on this add or edit details. Let's click on this and you find that, okay, we are getting that ID as null. Why? Because we don't have that student ID over there. So what you can do is just pass this student ID, copy the student ID and send that directly. Student ID you can access from your student ID directly. That's it, not required anymore. Save, and now refresh. So you'll be getting your form. So now guys, here we don't have the data. Let's insert it. So I'm going to add the for Varun number as alternative 9 here, MCA and MCA roll number some digit, and submit. Here you find saved successfully. Now you can go back, browse, you can get the data. Perfect. So as you have seen that from one form submit only you can create or update the record itself. Okay, so we are using one form to update or create it. Done guys, and we have completed with one-to-one relationship in Laravel 9. And thank you for watching this video guys. Please subscribe, like and share.